Storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page line is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Look on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation. Yeah, here in Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation.
I don't know, man. I don't like this. You want to walk up there or you want to go back there? I don't think you can make it.
All right, everybody, what's up? Good morning. Little Hurricane Ian footage there to start today. Not a good memory there, right? All right, so we're back home. What's everybody doing? Let's make sure we're streaming live. It's been a week now. I have a cool mobile setup. Luckily, it worked. We were live last week 3 times, which was good. I was happy to do that. But it feels good to be back home in my ABC Fine Wine and Spirits studio right here in Oldsmar. So how's everybody doing? Miss Shelley on the East Coast. Good morning, Shelley. Good to see everybody. Got a little bit of weather to talk about. Louie's excited. Hope you had a great weekend. Our Rays lost again. NASCAR was pretty exciting. What else do we have in the sports world? I don't know. Rays need to win, man. The Orioles are getting on us. So, hey, Shelly. My YouTube was weird this morning. It actually showed a preview today, which it hasn't done. Did anybody notice that? The YouTube came up early. So, anyway. All right. So, here's our Daily Brew. We love everybody on our little Daily Brew. It's more of a get-together. We drag it out, usually about an hour. So, if you don't have the patience, I understand. But we like to hang out. It's a cool little hangout area. It's been doing this for many years, since 2016. Is that right, Shelley? I think since Matthew, we've been streaming live. So, yeah, we've been streaming live on Facebook at least since 2016, I believe. And we just started doing YouTube last year and Twitter. So, well, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Did you hear that, Louis? X. Type X. Don't type 3 X's. Just 1 X. 3 X's will get you in trouble. But, yeah. So we're going to talk tropics. Daily Brews brought to you by great friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Is one of my favorite pictures. It's a good Monday picture. It's after a thunderstorm. We had a whole week up in Panama City, and we were smack dab underneath that high pressure system that I kept talking about, and it was hot. Let me tell you what, our girls played in 110 degree heat index on, I think it was Friday. Oh, God, they had to play 4 games, back to back to back to back. 4th game, they just ran out of energy. We still only barely lost, but we had a good run, James. But, man, the girls just couldn't do it no more. I mean, come on. They're telling everybody to stay indoors, and our girls are playing. And we were on turf fields. Publix Park, by the way, at Panama City Beach was absolutely beautiful. Publix sponsors it. Props to Publix and Panama City Beach. Beautiful, beautiful store. Well, they are beautiful stores, but beautiful softball field that we were able to play at. Frank Brown Park, also very, very hot, very pretty field. So I had a great time. Got to meet the Cat 5 salsa crew and hooked me up with my favorite salsa. That was fun. But we were good, man, and we had a great weekend. She was 500 batting for the weekend. She had 11 RBIs. That was amazing. Pitched pretty darn good. She won a few games. Had a rough last inning, but overall, man, she had 19 strikeouts, I think. So 11% swing and miss ratio, which is good. So anyway, this is Louie. We're going to talk weather now. Let's say hi to everybody. Hey, Shelly, had a power outage. Oh, and they're good to be home. We got to bring the boys with us. We're really happy. A lot of people met the dogs this weekend. Met a ton of fans up there again this weekend. I love that area up there. 850, right? Here's the latest map, by the way. What you're looking at is current satellite imagery of the Atlantic. And this is our little blob here. This is Invest 95, if you're wondering. So it's juicy. It's as predicted. Monday or Tuesday, we've been saying. It looks like more like Tuesday now, but look at that. It's got a big old clump of rain. Pretty much all the islands are going to get in on the action, even down into Trinidad and Tobago. So the chances have definitely lowered for development, but it's still juicy. It's still got a lot of moisture. Looks blobbish, right? But chances are just decreasing. Now it's 20% chance of tropical development, 80% chance of tropical blobbage. It's a blob. Hey, Mary Carol, what's up? Good morning, Jennifer Countryman. Eric, what's up? How's South Florida going? All the coneheads out there. Lisa, I'll come to Myrtle Beach. That's one place we've never been. I cannot believe our family has never vacationed in Myrtle Beach. That is amazing. And I'm back to my Louis cup. Look at that. Things are back to normal. Good morning, Miss Becky. Morning, Mr. Tom Baffa. How's it going? What's up there, Christy? Christy, all kinds of problems sometimes lately over there on YouTube. I don't know. I was just texting Julie. Somehow Sarah got a hold of my phone, and somehow she randomly messaged a friend of ours on TikTok and sent her a video of a girl dancing. I don't know how she clicked the girl and hit message and hit the girl sending, but I messaged our friend and said, I think that was Sarah. Oh, man. I'm going to have to start doing my daily brewing with my left hand, by the way. I've been leaning on this desk now for 14 years, the same spot. I'm gonna have to mix it up a little bit and start using my left hand because my right hand hurts so much sometimes. Ouch. Good morning, Miss Cassandra. How's it going? What's up, Ned Pike? So, all right, cool. I'm back in time for Tropics, Mr. Mark. That's right. We all love our TikTok. Yeah, we'll be live every day this week, all 5 days. PR next Monday, Cheryl. Oh, you can have a little tropical juice to your north, it looks like, but close enough to you need to be watching our next wave here. We're going to talk about this next wave. So there you go. Here's the tropics, by the way. This is the official map from the National Hurricane Center. Remember, I am not an official source of information. I'm just a media-ologist. I think that's how you spell it, media-ologist. Always refer to the National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service for official graphics and information. This is your official National Hurricane Center graphic this morning, and I tell you what, not every day you see a tropical storm basically where the Titanic set sail across the ocean here. I mean, that is way up there. Tropical Storm Dawn. It's almost outside the NHC map, if you think about it. Typically, we see all kinds of development in the main development region. No, we got Dawn way the heck up here. The track at Dawn has been unbelievable. As a matter of fact, I got a cool site here. If you want to look at one, the cyclonic weather page on the very top left here. He's got some great tropical links and stuff. Alex Borham, I hope was his name right, Mr. Alex. Great site. I got it linked. But look at the track at Dawn. You talk about a loop-de-doop-de. Dawn started out going east, then he went south, then he went north, then he went east, then he went south, then he went west, and now he's back over here. So the life cycle of Dawn, and it was a brief hurricane for about 12 hours, 24 hours. So yeah, it was our first official hurricane over the weekend. But is that just the most wackiest track ever? Like boom, 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 boom. But anyway, it's a great website. I always link all kinds of great sites. We, of course, use Levi's Tropical Tidbits a lot. All right, so let's get into that. All right, so there's your system. It's down to 20%. It was a high of 70%. But now it's down to 20%. A lot of wind shear coming. Lots of wind shear ahead coming in. And typical of a El Nino pattern. A lot of wind shear in the Caribbean. And there's also a lot of this dusty, dry air. This is your latest snapshot of your dry air in the Atlantic, along with the dust. And that's kind of been the story. This thing has been riding along a moisture layer just to the north. There's been a tremendous amount of dry air on all three sides, west, east, north side. So there's our blob. So that's definitely deterred development a lot for our system. So, and you can see some cool links here on Weather Nerds. We got a good imagery here. This is your water vapor loop. It's just ugly, but it is firing some convection. So if you got anybody in the islands, Barbados, Lesser Antilles, you're definitely going to get some action out of this stormy weather, and it's coming. So it'll feel tropical, but it's not organizing. If it was organized, here's your latest spaghetti models on tropicaltidbits.com. There you go. These just came out, your 12Z. When you see the models stop right here, that pretty much means that those models believe our system will be gone. That's confidence that it's going to lose any chance of development. But we do have a high pressure in place, and it's pretty much driving our system west. Weak systems go west. Weak systems crash into Central America. Weak systems are driven by lower level winds, and you can see this here great on the Knoll School site. These are your lower level winds, and you can see strong lower level winds pretty much blowing that direction. So lower level winds definitely dictate weaker tropical systems, and we have strong trade winds across the Atlantic right now. And then when these lower level winds come, when our system's here, the lower level winds push the bottom circulation, and then we get upper level winds that tear apart any developing system. So when you have lower level winds coming in from one side, and then you have upper level winds expected, they're not here yet, but they are coming. We have a lot of model maps, but there are expected shear here across the Caribbean in the next several days coming in from the west. So no really worry on that. Let's talk about a couple other things that are coming up to talk about in the tropics. Let me show you the shear map real quick, though, just since we talked about it. I want to verify what I was saying here, and let's take a look here at the latest shear maps for the Caribbean. I don't think the shear maps work under. I think I have to go the whole tropical Atlantic. I do. So tropical Atlantic. All right, so let's go time. Let's pop out. I don't know, Wednesday. I don't know. Let's just kind of go out time here. Let's go to Wednesday. Here's Wednesday. And these are winds coming in from the I don't know, southwest, west, whatever. But, strong shear indicated here across the tropical Caribbean for the week. Here's Saturday. So there's all kinds of wind shear. Here's Friday. So that's another reason that they're not expecting any sort of development, is it's going to run into a lot of wind shear. There you go. So we had 2 cabins bookshelf. That's awesome. I was just wondering about that. Hey, what's up, Miss Bobby Blobby, Hurricane Harbor? What's up? How's it going? Record temps, Ryan. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about temperatures. I get everybody riled up about temperatures. I know it's summer. I'll try to limit my temperature post. But as far as South Florida goes, that is not very common right here. Not very common to have excessive heat warnings in South Florida. I believe I read somewhere there's only been a couple of them ever. And we've had consistently excessive heat warnings for South Florida, especially Southeast Florida. So that's today, excessive heat warning. That typically means 110 degrees plus heat index. I know it's summer. I know it's summer. When's the first cold front? Jerry says, I know, right? Cool on the cruise, man. We'll talk about that. All right, so let's talk about the tropics. There's a little bit of something to talk about. All right. Awesome. All right, so hey, by the way, little fun stuff coming up. So today I got 2 meetings today. 3 meetings today I'm pretty excited about. Our City of Oldsmar, Upper Pinellas is doing a hurricane community Wednesday meeting. I'm not sure the link, but it's a neighborhood meeting. I got a meeting with the city today. We're going to talk about hurricane stuff, hurricane prep, which is cool. I got a call with the Furman crew, Furman Power Equipment. We're talking to Daytona Speedway. We're working on our car for 2024 for Daytona. So stay tuned for that. We're trying to do it again. We're trying to put together another hurricane awareness machine for next year for Daytona Speed Week. So I'm excited about that. And then this Friday, come hang out at TBBC, Tampa Bay Brewing Company in West Chase, which is technically I call Oldsmar. I'll be handing out some free koozies and stickers. If you're in the area, come say hi. They're doing their silo sign-ups here. The Silo Society is a big deal. They're only doing 100 of them. It's like a huge discount, special beers, limited membership, exclusive parties, exclusive Facebook page. So if you're a beer lover and you are in the TBC area, Tampa Bay Brewing Company, come on by and sign up for that. I'll be there Friday with the family. So we like to announce little fun stuff like that now and then. So love to see everybody locally, and we'll give everybody a koozie that comes by. And koozie and a sticker. But it's a really good deal. They're only limited to 100 people. Discounts on beer, merch, annual party, tickets to their Badass Fest 23. Lots of opportunities, exclusive to members only. Only 100 people they are letting sign up for this exclusive membership. Silo Society 23. So I'll have my card. Will you have your card? So that's Friday this week coming up. 4 to 7 p.m. I'll probably be there more like 5 or 6 p.m. So, love to see you though. Love me some good calzones. I got the best calzones on the planet for sure. All right. Gotta look forward to Friday. Here's the rain if you're wondering what's going on. We got an old cold front. Look at this sucker. It's just draped down in the Gulf of Mexico. More rain incoming for the Panhandle. They had strong storms last night. This is live radar. We got some rain coming into West Central Florida. We have a frontal line that's stuck. Had a couple people messaging me about this thing right here. That's just nothing. But it looks like a blob. Nothing's tropical out of this yet. You never say never, but nothing's showing up on any models or anything. So if you're wondering what this big old blob is in the Bay of Campeche, right now it's nothing. It's just a blob of convection. No signs of anything. It's just nothing. So if you're wondering about that, it's nothing. It's so. But the frontal line's pretty interesting. It is a front. You can see it very well in the water vapor loop. I always like to look at the water vapor loop. It kind of really shows things. Let's take a look at the conus. And we can look at the water vapor loop here, and we can see our frontal line. Let's pull it up right here. Let's just do an image and pull it up high res. There you go. So, all right, so that's what we got. So there's a little bit of dry air. So guess what? It actually kind of feels not too bad in the yellow areas. This is touching all of Louisiana, most southern Texas there, big chunk of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia there. This is dry air. This is a frontal line. And believe it or not, there's some cool weather. Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina, mountains, Tennessee. So if you're in that neck of the woods, I guarantee it's feeling kind of nice. The excessive heat warnings that we've been seeing are gone, at least for the East Coast for a while, for hopefully a while, but at least today it is. But that's dry air. That's dry, cool air, believe it or not. And let's take a look at temperatures real quick. Then I promise I'll get into tropics. Like I told you, I go every which way. But here's your current temps. Look at that, the 60s here across the Carolina. This is awesome. Look at this. Let's pull up the southeast here and look at some temperatures. Current temps. So there's 60s up into Georgia in the mountains. Not bad, man. Mid-Atlantic, check this out. Low 60s. Across the Appalachians. A lot of 60s in the Carolinas. Pretty awesome, huh? Heat index is way down, obviously not even in there. Humidity is very low. So enjoy it while it lasts. Here's your long-range heat map. This is something we haven't seen in a long time, right? Look at this. Hazardous heat stops at the Mississippi River, man. We got like a force field across the Mississippi River, man. Look at that. Nothing. Somebody put something in the river. Look, there's nothing weather-wise coming this next 7 days. A lot of heat out west. Texas, a little bit of Louisiana, but look at that. No weather events to talk about all the way through the next 7 days. That's pretty awesome. Haven't seen that in a while. No flooding, no heat, nothing. Nada. Nothing. All the way through the weekend. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? You even have hazardous heat in Alaska. How do you have hazardous heat in Alaska? Is that even possible? What's hazardous to people in Alaska? I have no idea. What the heck is going on in Alaska? Geez, I have no idea. What do they consider hazardous heat in Alaska, I wonder? Don't know. Let's see if how do you even pull up Alaska? Where are my? I don't even know if I even opened up an Alaska. I don't even know how to open up an Alaska map. What is this? I don't think I've ever opened. I got United States. Oh, maybe right here. Here we go. Yeah, of course, Alaska. There we go, Alaska. All right, let's see what they consider excessive heat in Alaska. That's interesting. Let's look at max temperature. Oh, it's in the 80s. Holy, that is kind of weird. Look at 87 in Alaska. Wow. Let's see if we get a 90. 88. Oh, yeah, you know we're going to get a 90 up here somewhere. Hey, that's hot. That's Wednesday. Hell yeah, that's excessive heat. 90 degrees. What's up with that? 80s. Look at all that. 80s in Alaska. You imagine some poor family saved up for years ago. Let's say, let's go to Alaska during the summer. Let's get out of the heat. So they saved up all their money for like 2 years straight. They take an Alaskan trip. And it's 80. Now, look at this. They got a high temperature of 101 somewhere. So they go to Alaska and it's 90. They're like, what? I guess it gets hot in Alaska. Didn't know that. 88, 90 degrees in Alaska. That is weird. Maybe it's not weird. I don't know. Is it weird? Tell me. I don't know. Is it weird? All right, let's talk tropics. Sorry, I know I ramble on a lot, but that's just what I do. Oh, buddy. Hey, look at that, Jason Sutton. I'll be talking to you on the phone later, my buddy Jason. Marlins are not going to sweep the Rays, Will. We got to start winning, man. Yep. Bermuda high. The weather pattern is shifting a little bit. Force field around Houston. Mighty Mississippi. 5 months from Christmas. Ryan says. What's up, Chris? How's it going? Yeah, Shelly just brought up a good point. Somebody's asking about, go to my YouTube channel. I have a seasonal outlook video I did a couple weeks ago, or a month ago maybe. Carrie, your Orioles are pretty darn good, I will admit. I'm telling you, our hitters are having a hard time. So, hey, John Solomon, how you doing, buddy? I couldn't make it through your neck of the woods, man. We had to get on out of there. Sorry. Would have loved to see you, man. My buddy from Apalachicola. Harold, no, I don't believe they do, man. Somebody had a good point about Florida. We've had several evenings here on the West Coast where we've had squall lines coming in from the Gulf at 5 o'clock. When I remember as a kid growing up, all the squall lines would come across from Central Florida. They would come east to west. It's not very common to see squall lines coming from the Gulf. All that's because of that high pressure that we've had. Anyway, all right, so that's it for weather. Let's talk about long-range tropics. So there are two areas that I want to bring to attention. We're going to go to tropical tidbits. So there's a wave coming off Africa now, and there's also a little, I guess you could say, an old frontal line that could whip around to the Carolinas this week, Thursday, Friday. So let's zoom in on the Euro first. So there's two areas I'm going to talk about. One is a wave coming in off of Africa, and the other one is a little area here that's showing up for later this week. So there's two potential areas to watch for sneaky tropical development. But remember, the NHC is official, and they don't highlight any of these. So all this stuff that I always talk about is always speculation. All right, so let's talk about the Euros. Let's look at the vorticity here on. This will put everything in a nutshell. All right, Wednesday, weak low. I know it's hard to see here. Yellow shows spin in the atmosphere, but it'll make sense in a minute. All right, so Wednesday, here's our wave coming off of Africa. Here is Invest 95, and then we're going to start seeing a little bit of this old trough or frontal line maybe coming up. So let's go to Thursday. And as we get to Thursday, you can start to see a little spinning. I'm going to zoom in on this, and here's our wave in the middle Atlantic. But look. All right, so we're going to highlight this little area here off the Carolina coast Thursday, Friday this week. And then here's our next potential wave coming across from Africa. This will zoom in a little bit better. So this little feature here off the Florida East Coast, you can see it right there, clear as day. It's been showing up a lot. Now, it's not organized yet. It's not marked by the NHC. But it's enough to mention, at least on our daily brew. I did post it in our Brew Crew private chat room if you're a subscriber. But there it is. And we'll keep an eye on it. It's, going around that Bermuda high and, showing up. So if anything, it could be increased, a little bit of moisture if it tries to get going. and that would be the end of this week coming up. So again, there's really nothing official about it. I just want to point it out. A few of the ensembles showed, possible development. This would be Friday morning this week. It's worth mentioning for sure. And then it races on out of here. So keep an eye on that. And then the other little area that we got brewing is right here, sneaking in the picture. This is next over the weekend. This is Sunday. So that area coming off of Africa now could make its way across the Atlantic. Now, we're starting to see signs the Bermuda high shifting a little bit to the east, a little bit more frontal influence across the east coast, which is going to allow more of a possible bend. That strong high pressure that we saw last week that pushed Invest 95 west is weakening. So it's important to note, and in fact I just shared it, but all four models are showing some sort of a low pressure area here next Monday, okay? All of them are showing a pull kind of north at this time, except the GFS. We're going to get into that here in a second. So this time next week, could have a little something for the islands. We got a lot of people that watch in the Virgin Islands. So keep an eye on that possibility. The GFS has been aggressive. Let's just go to the same timestamp. This is next Monday. GFS. Whoops. God darn it. Went to the 66Z. Here's next Monday. Week on the euro. That's very weak. Just a low pressure area. Go to the GFS. Boom. Big difference. But it's enough to mention because it's consistent. The exact same timestamp, same spot. The Canadian model, weak system coming by. So you're getting the idea. All three of these systems, northern part of the islands, next Monday. Even the icon for next Monday showing the exact same scenario, low pressure right here. So that's good confidence, right? We keep an eye on that low pressure area off Africa right now. The GFS is the only outlier. Like I always talk about, GFS is this terrible model. I don't know what the hell is going on with the GFS. But, man, it is showing another. So if you like gloom and doom, in the worst case scenario, watch the GFS. And by the way, we're on tropicaltidbits.com. I hope I mentioned that enough. I love Levi and his site. We've been using him for years. He's got good stuff. But that's the GFS. The only one showing that. Only one showing it going that far, but it's worth mentioning, right? Timing, if it were to happen, would be the next weekend. But that's a long... Not next weekend. I forget today's Monday. 2 weekends. Because this would be next Monday. 7 days from now. That's fantasy land. Important thing to note is that it's the only one showing it. And I see people share the heck out of it. Let's look at last night's 00Z. Where'd it go? Next Monday. Look, next Monday. Extremely weak low pressure area. Like nothing. And it keeps it kind of west and kind of gets it through Florida and into the Gulf. So, I mean... every run's a little different. But the main thing is by next Monday, the important thing to note, we could have a wave right here we might be watching. What did it do in the 18Z run? Very nothing. So you get to see that. GFS is all over the damn place. Yesterday's 12Z did that. So, all right, so there's that. As far as the end of this week coming up, there are a few kind of showing this scenario of a weak low. Here's the GFS showing what the euro is showing. Focus on it here. This is next Thursday. This week coming up. This Thursday. A little bit of juice coming up around. You can see it bending. Nothing's marked by the NAC to worry about, but it's enough to mention. There's the euro again. So short term, could have a little something brewing down here Wednesday, Thursday, trying to curve up around the East Coast by the end of the week. And there has been some ensembles showing that. So there you go. You know, Canadian not really showing it. Icon not really showing it. So very weak signs, but it's always something we like to do on our Daily Brew shows, talk about potential areas. You know, can't really go against the National Hurricane Center, so we don't ever try to scare anybody, but we like to talk about areas, you know, as they start to brew and get everybody kind of, you know, because we all like tracking storms, right? So we'll keep an eye on that right there. Let's look at some ensemble plots. Now we're going to look a little deeper here. Let's look into the weekend. Not really showing much development on that little area coming around. A couple of them. See, we're looking right here. This is Friday. Here's high confidence Invest 95 crashes into Central America. This is this Friday coming up. So all those are little ensemble plots. None of them are going north. There's a few ensembles showing that East Coast scenario. And then here is our wave off of Africa over the weekend into early next week. And most of the euro are showing it curved. Now, we have a lot of people in Bermuda. Not a fish storm when these things still affect land. As a matter of fact, did you know this? Here's a little tidbit. I want to make sure I got my numbers right. Because 63,000, that's what I thought. Okay. Current population in Bermuda, 63,867 people. There's 8, so that's a lot of people. 60,000 plus live in Bermuda. So yeah, and believe it or not, we have a lot of fans in Bermuda. So let's zoom in a little closer to the latest. So yes, we got to watch that wave. It can change. It can shift a little more to the west. You never know. If that high pressure builds in, guess what? It's going to shift a little bit to the west. But here are the latest trends on that. And look, all of them show potential development. A lot of them show potential development. Anything red is sub 980 millibar, which is hurricane for sure. So definitely, here's Bermuda. Need to be watching this. Timing would put it around, I don't know, 10 days-ish, August 2nd right here. But that's as of now. Like I said, it's, you know, the main thing is things shift and stuff. We're not 100% confident. But the majority of them have it recurving away from the U.S. So that's our new wave out in the Atlantic, not marked by the National Hurricane Center. But we talked what's going on, and that's what's going on. Another good site to see the ensemble plots is Weather Nerds. And you can just kind of hit play here and watch it unfold. Weathernerds.org. So here's Invest 95. Here is that area we're talking by the end of the week. Now there's a few ensembles I'm surprised showing up. Look at that. And then here is our next wave. Pretty cool animation, isn't it? I love it. 63,000 people in Bermuda. Don't ever call it a fish storm. M. Troy, yeah, I'm not a gloom and doomer. Weather Center Nazario, I love the icon. It's a very good model for at least sniffing out low pressure areas. So Jason said they've never been above 65. What's up with 90 degrees? Oh, I got a median 11. Okay, I'm good. Cheers, SL Sully. How's it going? Chris Dryas, I believe it Tarpons had the driest ever. I saw that. Do you see it? I did see a graphic that National Hurricane or Tampa Bay National Weather Service put out, how we've had a record start to the year as far as lack of rainfall for many areas in Tampa Bay. All right, so this is a great model plot. I love it. weathernerdsman.org. Have you follow me on TikTok yet? That's my second biggest platform. I cannot believe it. Lori, we'd love to come to Bermuda on the next cruise. So, all right. There you go. Very, 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 very awesome plot right here. This is exactly what we're all been talking about. So let's stop it. Boom. All right. So check it out. This is your high pressure area. This is your infamous Bermuda High. It kind of got pushed away a little bit this way. All right. So when it moves like Jagger. All right. So our next wave potentially will be going around this high pressure area. This one is coming off of Africa now. This one is showing up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. Okay, this is separate. This is nothing to be concerned about, but it could bring some juice and some storms, and you just never know. The water, Gulf Stream, you never know. No models are really showing any serious development yet. If they were, the NHC would mark it, but that is definitely on my radar as a sneaky little system to pop up. And then here is 95 westbound and down, and it's going into Central America. So this is new. Like I said, Mew. And this is Mew. It's bad. All right, cool. Can we see any spinach in the Atlantic right now? Boy, that's a strong signature of our intertropics convergence zone. So if you go to the surface charts way down yonder, there's our monsoon trough ITCZ line. They're actually a little different. I associate them both kind of the same. But this is your intertropics convergence zone line, right? And if you go to this map, there it is right there. And what's so cool about this is where things happen. So winds come in from the south. Winds come in from the north. And they start to spin. It is so fascinating. Unbelievable. And we start to get these little areas that try to begin. Look, you can already see it. Almost trying. Remember, storms are counterclockwise. So all this convection out there in the far Atlantic, right here, it starts firing along that line, and any deepening low pressure area becomes its own little storm system. And eventually they pop off. I hate that thing. This shows up anywhere. But eventually they pop off and become their own little systems here. So pretty juicy. MJO looking a little healthy. Vorticity wise, this is a little bit of dry sinking air coming in actually across the Atlantic, Caribbean side. This is another part of the MJO, the vorticity side, but you can see green is a little more enhanced. So conflicting, August 2nd, we could see, this is that time frame that our system could start to intensify once it reaches the eastern Atlantic. So that's something we're kind of watching, a little more favorable conditions. The dusty, dry air we've been tracking, my Fox hurricane here, the whole Atlantic's full of it. It's, got a little window. Maybe, we were talking about Invest 95 having a little window, but it just wasn't able to overcome. Another plume coming off. Eventually, usually starts to slow down at the end of July. But look at this dust, man. It's making it all the way up into Texas, Oklahoma. That's incredible. Look. So, by Wednesday, we're going to have dust. This is all the way from the Sahara Desert in Africa. It's made its way all across the Atlantic. And now it's going to be almost covering the whole state of Texas and Louisiana and Oklahoma. Can you believe it? So we can have dust covering the whole western Gulf of Mexico and the Florida Peninsula this Wednesday. Hazy skies. So if you look out the window and you see hazy skies on Wednesday, it's because we have dust in the wind. Here's a good look at it. Right here. Wow, man, that's strong signature dust. That is incredible. So yeah, it's gonna make South Florida too. Look at that heavy dust, man. That's This is next tomorrow, and this is Tuesday. That's crazy. I-4 south, and then Texas up in Louisiana. Amazing that it's made it this far over. For sure. All right. So there's two areas to possibly watch. Dawn's hanging on way the heck up there. Hey, another thing I wanted to show you. This is pretty neat to me. I meant to talk about this earlier, but I didn't. Let's go to... Kind of shows it. I was hoping to see a better one. Let's go to Levi's site. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You see it really good. All right. Tropical Atlantic. Well, that's not the one I wanted. North Atlantic. That's the one I wanted. All right. This is awesome. TroubleTidbits.com. This is the sea surface anomaly. I don't know if it's weekly or monthly. Cammy, new hurricane technology. Well, there's a new model called the HAFS. I believe that's the new model. Let me see if I'm right. So far, I'm not too impressed. HAFS, yeah. It didn't do very good at all with Invest 95. So I pointed out the HAFS had a 980 millibar Invest 95 in the Caribbean. And all I pointed out was that this was the new hurricane model that had high accuracy, and it's going into operation this year. So it was mainly, let's see how it does. That was the point of the post. Like, here it is. And of course, I had people saying, oh, you go pick the scariest model. I mean, okay, whatever. The context, the reality of the post was, here's what the new hurricane model that we're supposed to be using that's supposed to be great. This is what it's showing. That was the point of the post. Didn't happen. So again, models are just models. They're not all great, and they all have flaws. You got to use a blend of all models. You got to use a little common sense with models. I think I read between the lines of postings that we did over a week ago, pretty much showing that dry air, and kind of hard for a system to make it with all that dry air around it. And ultimately, that's what prevented Invest 95 from organizing. All right, this is a cool map. Catch my little innuendo there. Cool. Hey, Jason, are you still with us? My buddy Sutton. So I was driving home from Panama City Beach, and I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Badcock furniture stores are everywhere. And a lot of our family over the years shop there, but I couldn't help but think of my good buddies from Furman. They are now in all of the Badcock furnishing stores, so that's a pretty awesome accomplishment. So I was driving by one, I don't know where the hell we were at, in Chiefland or something, and I saw one. I think it was, I was kind of like looking. I'm like, maybe I'll see a Furman in there. But anyway, if your small town's got a Badcock home goods store there, you can get your Furman there, which is pretty cool. I was thinking of that. All right, so this is a sea surface anomaly map. What is really neat about this, I love it. We've seen it over the years with storms in the Atlantic. So you remember that track of Dawn that I showed you, right? Dawn has been hanging out here in the middle Atlantic now forever, it seems like. Well, you know what that blue means? That means cool water temperatures. This is sea surface temperatures. So what's fascinating with this image right here is that smack dab in the middle of the Atlantic, we have blue. That is upwelling. Upwelling is when a system, a hurricane, storm, whatever, parks itself over water, pulls the water. That's the energy source of a system. You have convection, fuel. When you have warm water, warm converts to energy, helps spinach. The warmer that water is, the more ability that you have for storms to gain strength and become strong. So what's fascinating is Dawn hung out in this little area in the Atlantic for so long that the satellites are now picking up that the water has cooled significantly at the surface because it's pulled up that cold water way below the surface of the sea surface temperature. So that's cool water from way below into the depths of the Atlantic that got churned upwards because of Dawn, and now it's spreading across the tops of the Atlantic, causing cool water to show on satellite. So this is a great example of upwelling and how tropical systems temporarily cool the sea surface temperature. This will end up becoming warm very soon again. But it's fascinating to me to see that. I think it's a great example of how hurricanes and tropical systems pull cold water up from the depths of the ocean, and now the sea surface temperature is cooled down temporarily. The reason the Gulf is such a hot spot for rapid intensification that we've seen so often lately is loop currents. And by the way, look, Katie's always asking, it looks like our little loop current has now broke away and has become a loop eddy. So these are warm rivers of hot water, hotter than normal water. These are they go down thousands of feet. These are currents, sea currents in the actual ocean in the Gulf here. These are currents. They extend below the surface thousands of feet. And we have a system slow moving over this area, then it's like endless fuel source. And that's why we see a lot of systems in the Gulf. Most of your strongest systems to ever hit continental U.S. has been because of the Gulf of Mexico and this extra warm water that it's fueled from. We had a pretty significant loop eddy here across the Western Gulf during Harvey. Remember, Harvey just sat there. Dozens and dozens and dozens of rain fell, inches of rain. It just kept pulling out of this endless supply of energy. And every major hurricane pretty much in the Gulf has had loop currents and loop eddies to help rapidly intensify. And all of our systems, Ida, Michael, Ian, Delta, Sally, Zeta, Laura, have been rapidly intensifying systems in the Gulf because of the warm water. But anyway, that was a neat little tidbit I wanted to share with you. There you go. Anyway, anything else we should chat about? Good morning, Paula Thompson. It's okay to be late. That's about it, I think, right? So here's our cruise. Shelly says we got 2 new cruisers. That's great. We're limited to 50 MWP families. A perfect number. We're getting close. So there's a graphic on the site. Read about it. All you got to do is email MWP Cruise Group 23 or call Miss Kim Shipley. The phone number's down there, and she will work with you one-on-one. Amazing customer service. Nobody's had any complaints at all with her company, Travel Max, and what she does for us. Ton of amenities and fun that we do. You can read all about it. So if you're into that, it's spring break for most folks. Check that out. What else we got? Fun stuff. Been getting a lot of reports of people getting their Tempest. I think Katie Haley just got one I saw. So if you click on that link there, you get a 10% discount, which adds up quick, and a little bit of money goes back to our site, which we appreciate. So it's a win-win. But if you're into weather stations and a weather geek, it's the most amazing item. I loved it. I had to like it before I even promoted it, and I'm 100% in love with it, 110% in love with it. So if you're looking for a cool weather station, go nowhere else there but the Tempest family, and you'll be very, very happy with that. So that's about it on my end. We'll go a few more minutes here. We can chit chat. Storms today, pretty much hovering around this old frontal line. Severe weather chances are limited to the north today. A little bit of storms here in Midwest, or is that Midwest? What do you officially say that? How about smack dab in the middle of the country and a little bit for the Northeast? There's today. Here's tomorrow. Tuesday. Here's Wednesday. So everything. Wednesday, we got a lot of people I know up in that Great Lakes region. So there's your storm outlook the next 3 days. Kind of hovering on the northern end of the world. So there you go. All right. I would love to do that. A tubing trip on Rainbow River. I've never been on Rainbow River, Mr. Will. Mid-Atlantic, Vicky. All right, I got you. Elisa's super late. Oh, well. Hey, one thing, listen, if you are a subscriber to our little page here, Shelly's got a Google Calendar that should have reminders, right? The coolest thing about Google Calendars, I think it's Google, they'll send you an alert 30 minutes before we go live. And if we're not live, you'll see it on the Google Calendar. Little tidbit. Hey, do we have air quality alerts up north again? That's suspicious. We do have air quality alerts. Look at that. Is that more Canadian smoke? All the way up there in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Minnesota and Wisconsin getting some Canadian smoke. This has been the year of Canadian smoke. What is up with that? Oh, hell yeah. Look at that. Geez, that's such a clear picture. Zoomed out Earth. Look at that. See this? These are fires in Canada. Look at that. They're making the trek down just like that. Isn't that amazing? Weather is amazing, right? Look at that. So this is satellite imagery. You can see the smoke from Canada. And here it comes. Right there. That's all smoke from Canada. Man, so this is doesn't even seem possible. And then we got excessive heat in Alaska. What's up with that? Oh, I tell you, it's weird. All right, that's so. NFL starts this week. That's I'm researching lightning protection for the house today, Paula. Good morning, Yohel. What's up, buddy? All right, anything else? We'll chit-chat for a few more minutes. So Paul Thompson, if you click on, so one of my great local supporters here, Done Right Roofing, if you go to their blog section, they have a lot of lightning tips. Like, here's determine whether you need a lightning rod on your home. There's a few. They have 9 pages of blogs. We can't go through them all, but there's 4 or 5 on lightning. Talking about hurricane, avoid roofing scans during hurricanes, metal roofs, get your roof secured before a hurricane. So anyway, you might find some great information there on lightning. I think I saw 2 or 3 at least. Another one, how to prepare your roof for a hurricane, determine if your roof is ready for a hurricane. It's incredible information. So we really appreciate their support locally here in Pinellas County, Pasco and Hillsborough. And they do a lot of stuff with our community. We have a great little community here. So anyway, all right, well, there is a scoop. So officially, let's pull this map up one more time. This is our official tropics map. There's nothing other than Invest 95. Let's pull it up right here. All right, so this is Invest 95. Definitely going to bring some stormy, rainy action for the islands. Organization chances seem very low. So starting later tonight and tomorrow, definitely going to see storms across. And it's very active. Let's zoom in real quick to Weather Nerds. But it's got a lot of juice in it. A lot of stormy weather. I mean, it's not organized by any means, but it's going to bring a lot of flooding and serious rain. This is a live look here. So even though it's not organizing, it's going to bring a lot of nasty weather across the islands, for sure. In Trinidad, Tobago, the ABC Islands down there, northern part of South America. So organization chances low, but it's definitely bringing nasty tropical weather here for the islands tonight and tomorrow. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about, like I said, later in the week, there's going to be a little bit of energy coming up to watch. Nothing's marked by the NHC, but could be some low pressure trying to spin here right off the coast. This could be later this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's a potential area to watch. And then our next wave now exiting Africa looks like it's going to come somewhere here and could impact Bermuda later next week, a week plus. But the timing on this little guy would be somewhere here this time next week. So keep an eye on that. It's not marked. That's just the latest model trends. All depends on this high pressure system where it sets up. But if we get any sort of weakness in here, then it probably is going to pull a little more to the north than what we saw with Invest 95. And of course, Dawn, way up there, almost out of the NHC's map, which is so uncommon. Weird. All right. Cool. I got 2 meetings to go to right now, so I got to get ready for that. I got to really get ready. And then we'll tease everybody in on Daytona, right, Jason? As we get closer to 2024. So have a great day. Good to see everybody. A lot of friends on here. We really appreciate you tuning in for our daily brew every day. We're gonna be live all this week. Probably this is a couple hiccups the rest of the season, so we're pretty much nonstop here through the season. We did our big vacation last week up in Panama, so we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Make sure you follow me also on YouTube and TikTok as I do little quickie videos there a little bit more often. All right, so we'll see everybody tomorrow.